Welcome to the Next Step Recovery podcast. We call this More Than Recovery because addiction is so much more than just getting clean from our addictions, our strongholds. It's really finding our purpose in life, and that's what we're here for each and every day. I like to say that we have three purposes here at the Next Step Recovery podcast. The first purpose is to encourage people, to encourage those who are struggling in their addiction or just in life. It doesn't have to be an addiction. It could be anything. So we want to encourage you. Number two, we want to educate you. We want to help you help other people. We want to help you help others. And then finally, we want to expand our reach. We want to expand our impact. We want to expand our partners. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to a great show.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Next Step Recovery podcast. And I just want to say happy Father's Day to you and happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, and happy Father's Day to me. I'm going to be a father here. Well, I am a father, but Mary is due in September, and we are so excited for that. And I'm so excited for that adventure. So today we're going to be talking about something very, very important, I think, in society today, and that is what do men need?
Yeah.
So we can expound on that a little bit.
What do men need, right? Happy Fathers. That's right. You're due. You're not due, but
I'm not.
Your wife is due in September, but you know, it's if you were due, you know, we'd have some issues here. But,
Yes.
In this culture, you never know anymore, and I'll leave it there.
Just leave it at that.
But yeah, it's Father's Day, and I'm not sure when we'll release this podcast, but pretty close to Father's Day, or maybe the day out. We're trying to do it beforehand, and you know, fathers are so important.
Absolutely,
mothers are too, obviously. None of us came into this world without a father or a mother, right?
Yes.
You know, we came in, we didn't just appear, well, unless you're Adam, and we didn't just appear into this world.
Yep.
And so let's talk about men in this culture today. You know, it's a very, very anti-man culture that we live in. It's funny, you know, certainly over the centuries, we could all argue that women have been abused at some level. And as a maturing, as a civil society culture, we recognize these things, and we work, and we can go back to a couple of podcasts ago and talk about the equality or fairness, right? But yeah, we work towards treating people better, and women certainly in the world today have huge advantages. But sometimes the pendulum swings. Instead of us coming to some type of a balance, the pendulum swings completely in the other direction. And really, I would say that in today's culture, you know, and what we do at Next Step, working with men who are coming out of, who have been in prison, who are at our facility in lieu of prison, who have a record, who have some type of criminal background, who have a history of addiction, substance misuse. Many people would say, well, these are just bad guys. And when you get to know these guys, they're not bad guys.
No, they're not.
They're not evil. For the most part, I'm not saying that there's not some evil men in prison. I'm not saying that at all. There are some extremely corrupt and wicked. So we're not talking about that. But for the most part in our prisons, you don't have men who are evil. You have men who are hungry. Yeah. In a culture that is starving them to death. Yeah. We have badgered men. We have abused men. We have told them they're less than. We have feminized men. Let's just be right up front. I believe in masculinity, testosterone. I believe in chivalry.
Yes.
I believe in those things. I had some notes here that I had taken earlier. Unapologetically full of testosterone.
Yeah.
We need men. We need men to step up. We need men to lead. I'm not saying women can't lead. They can. My wife is a great leader. And many times I follow her lead. She's smarter than me. She has more common sense than I do, right? But at the end of the day, I can't be this passive rolling over guy who just says, hey, whatever you want to do. And that's easy to do. There's a lot of passive men in this world, and it's killing us. God, and we're going to look at this from God's perspective, because God is the creator of everything.
Oh yeah.
He is a creator of man. He's a creator of woman. There's a table right here that we're sitting across from each other, and there's a table in between us. And this table didn't just appear out of nowhere one day. It didn't just randomly.
Are you sure?
Yeah. It didn't just randomly appear from an evolutionary process. It was actually constructed by a table builder, right? Yeah, by somebody who builds furniture. And to think that us as complicated beings, not just emotionally and mentally, but physically, we are extremely complicated. Yeah. To think that we're just products of randomness in the universe is ignorant. It's not scientific. I tell people often that if you believe in the evolutionary process, then you have to believe that 0 plus 0 equals everything. And 0 plus 0 equals what? Hard math here.
Zero.
Right. 0 plus 0 equals.
Is this a trick question?
Right. No. The answer is not no. The answer is not, is that fair? That's not fair. The answer is 0. 0 plus 0 is
zero.
Is 0. God's a mathematician, right? And God works in order, right? And God has created order. The evolutionary process is chaos. It's a chaotic process that does not produce anything of value.
And I feel like it just kind of, it takes more faith
to believe
in an evolutionary process than it would be like a one person creating everything thing. That's yeah.
So in evolution, no one plus nothing equals everything.
Yeah.
0 plus 0 equals
0.
Right, but
everything, yeah.
But to the evolution is 0 plus 0 equals everything. That's not scientific. It's not mathematical. No. It's nutso. Yeah. I mean, I hate to say that, but it's crazy. It's like that takes a whole lot more faith.
Oh yeah.
Than I have. I don't have that much faith. It's just okay. Yeah, that makes sense. No, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. But we've convinced ourselves.
Yeah.
The other day, we were out here, we were cutting down a tree on our property, and the tree fell and hit the power line and knocked out all the power in the neighborhood. And but as we were cutting the tree down, and I looked at when I first looked at it, and I'm like, that tree's going to hit the power line.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I had convinced myself that it wasn't.
It won't.
It won't. Oh, okay. Yeah, it will be.
Yeah, it'll go this way.
And then as soon as it started coming down, I'm like, yep, it's going to hit the power line. And it hit the power line and took out all the power in the neighborhood.
Yep.
So I called the power company and I said, I messed up. Please come fix our power, because it wasn't just ours. It was the whole neighborhood.
It's everyone's.
Yeah. So I felt really bad. But we convince ourselves of things that are not true.
Yep.
For our own conveniences. And we've convinced ourselves in this culture that God is somehow distant, that he's not involved in anything. If he is, he started the evolutionary process and just let it go. Or there is no God at all, you know. And God is a God of order.
Absolutely.
He is the creator. Therefore, in our families, he's created order. And he has put the man, the women, and children in that order. And he's put man at the head, not as a dictator, but as a leader, as a leader who listens to his wife, who many times let her have the last say because she's smarter and more intelligent and more common sense. We got all that. Women mature faster than men. Their brains mature faster than men. There's a lot of things about women that God gave us that lady for a reason, because he understands what we need. I want you to think about this. It was just God and Adam to begin with, right?
Yeah.
And what did God tell Adam? It's not good for you to be what?
Not for good to be you.
Alone.
For you to be alone, yeah.
It's not good for you to be alone. And I thought to myself, well, he's not alone.
He's got the animals.
He's got God.
And God, yeah.
Yeah, he's got But there's a message in there that just stuck to me. God told Adam, it's not good for you to be alone. But God, I have you. You need something else.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, that's how much God says we need that relationship.
Yeah.
That man, woman, husband, wife relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And when man lacks that, he's lacking a whole lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
The men in our program struggle with women
Mm-hmm.
because of that desire that God put into us to be used in the right way.
Yep.
But our tendency is to use it in the wrong way.
The wrong way, yeah.
So we struggle with women because God put it in us.
Mm-hmm.
Now he gives us his word to tell us how to do it.
Yep, how to use that.
How to use the relationship, how the relationship should look. And when I don't know God's word, then I don't know what that relationship, so I abuse it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the next thing you know, I've got 5 kids and 5 child support payments.
I'm not married.
I'm not married, and this happens all the time. The guys are in the program and they're with a woman and they have a child together, but they're married to somebody else that they don't even talk to. So they can't even get the current relationship right because they're still married to, and it's a mess. It just creates this is baggage they carry, right? So you have men in our culture today who are living in this mess that they've created.
Yeah.
Through out of wedlock births, child support payments that are through the roof, don't know who they are. The culture has told them they're something that they're not, or they're not something that they are. And it's a mess.
Yeah.
And then we wonder what's wrong with our men. We wonder why, what's wrong with men today? Well, you know what's wrong with men today? We have a culture that lies to them.
Yep.
That's what's wrong with men today.
Yeah.
We have a culture that has failed men because we have a culture that has ignored the word of God. We have a culture that has said, we're not going to pay any attention to what the Creator says about how things should operate.
And see, it's interesting because it's like, that's one of the devil's tricks, right? Is he likes to flip the order in which the household's supposed to go.
Right.
So, and you even see that in the garden.
Yeah.
When, the serpent knew that Adam was the head of the family. So he went and talked to Eve first,
right?
And then Eve convinced Adam, so on and so on. But he uses the same tactics today. I mean, he hasn't changed. And it works. I mean, it is a thing that works. And then when you see that in society, that we have a society that's so anti-man, and it's trying to basically erase the man from the household. Because if you erase the man from the household, then the family's destroyed,
falls apart.
I mean, so
falls apart, right? Government cannot replace the man.
No,
and that's what our society has said: is that government will take care of you. No, it won't.
No.
People often tell me, I'm trying to get a government check. I said, you want to live in poverty the rest of your life? Because that's what's going to happen. Because once they give you that check, you can't make any more money, and they're only going to give you $800 a month.
Yeah.
They're going to give you $1,000. You can live on $800 a month. $1,000. Really? Your government check guarantees your poverty.
I think it was it Reagan who said that, if the government is like offering to help you, that's like I can't remember the exact.
Yeah, he said the worst phrase you want to hear is, I'm from the government. I'm here to help.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. It was Reagan who said that, but that was,
but our society has failed men and has done a poor job of trying to replace men with, and it does not work. Well, we'll just throw more money at it. It won't work. Well, if we could just raise your taxes and we can help, it won't work.
Yep.
You're just continuing to do the same failed things over and over and over again, and it doesn't work. So I've got a few things here that, as you read through the Word of God, there's some basic needs that man has. And it's not hunting and fishing.
Really?
Wrestling.
Oh, gosh.
Auto racing.
Yeah.
It's not, though. Those are great things, and we all like those things, right? I love to fish and play golf and all those things, but those are not the things that God says I need, right?
Yeah.
Right? Andrew, my son, and I had a great time playing 18 holes yesterday. He whipped me so bad on the golf course, but that's okay. So here's what we need. Here's what men need that God says we need. in order to thrive, in order to be successful. We used that word last time, right? Successful. These are the things that men were created for. Okay. And it's just 5 things, right? 5 things I have here. 5 things that men were created for. What's the first thing that God gave Adam? Not the animals. What did God give? It's not good for you to be
alone.
What did he give? So what did he give her? What did he give him?
A wife.
A wife. He gave him. He gave him. God gave Adam Eve. He gave him a wife. Mm-hmm. Now, before he gave Adam a wife, Adam had a place to live and he had a job.
Yep. Yeah.
He had a place to live and he had responsibilities. That should tell us something, right? So before God gave to Adam Eve, Adam had a place to live and he had a job.
Yep.
Right? So something to think about there. There's something we should learn from that, right? So a man needs marriage. A man needs a woman who deeply loves him, who deeply, deeply loves him. It was not good for him to be alone.
And kind of building off of that is like, we're talking about this anti-man culture, but it's also a society, a culture who is very anti-commitment.
Yeah. Right.
Like you don't stay in one relationship for too long.
Yeah.
It's okay to date around, and it's okay to do this and it's okay to do that. But it's, when like marriage for a man, like we're talking, is important. I mean, that's it's
hugely important.
Yeah.
And the sexual relationship exists within marriage, not outside of it.
Yes. Yeah.
So I know nobody likes to hear that.
Well, I mean,
right. So, I believe in general, women function better than men do outside of marriage. I believe women can function better than men. Men desperately need a woman. I'm not so sure that women desperately need men.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
That's just what I observe sometimes, but it is just me. So, but that relationship to that lady, to that special one, a woman's words to her husband are extremely important. Mm-hmm. How she speaks to him, how she talks to him, how she approaches him. A woman's words will change a man quicker than anything.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's powerful. And I don't think some women realize just how powerful their words are, positive or negative. Encouragement from your wife goes a long ways. Mm-hmm. It's huge.
Yeah.
And men need that. We need that marriage relationship. We need that strong marriage relationship. Number 2, after marriage comes what? Children.
Yeah.
Right? So
the babies.
Men need children. Children are an expression of who that man is.
Yeah.
Children are an expression of who God is. Creation. God told Adam, go forth and multiply.
Yeah.
Bring forth children, bring forth children, bring forth. So they're the ultimate expression. Children are the ultimate expression of who we are, right? Of who. And there's some people who can't have children. We understand. God knows that.
Yeah.
He knows that. And there's children out there who need parents.
Yeah.
That need to be adopted, and God knows that.
Yep.
So He allows those situations to exist. So men express the image of God through their children.
And it's another thing too. It's like children are not a bad thing. Like you have so many like people who have the opinion that children just ruin everything.
They're a problem.
Yeah. And like they're going to prohibit you from, and this is more direct dictated towards women, but like they're going to prevent you from doing what you want to do and from living the life you want to live. And that's not the case. Like being a father and being a mother, like the most important jobs a person.
And in my family, I've never seen that be the case where children limited any of the women in our family.
There's no evidence that like this child is gonna prohibit you from doing what you want to do. So
I personally never experienced that, right? So but through our children we leave legacies, right? We leave a legacy through our children. We leave they become little ones of us. And that's what we're trying to leave is that legacy. So number 1, men need marriage. Number 2, children, family. Mm-hmm. Number 3, stewardship. And these are things we see in Genesis chapters 1 and 2. Yeah. Okay. Stewardship. God created the world, But then he turned it over to man, and he said, I need you to have dominion over it, to manage the resources of the earth, to use them for your benefit, to take care of them. God never said that the earth or any of its resources were equal to us.
Yeah.
He said that man was to have dominion over these things, to not abuse them. And that's the problem we have today, is a lot of times we abuse things, but to use things, sinful nature of man, sometimes we'll abuse things. So it's our job to care for the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
To care for creation, to use creation for our benefit so we can live. That's why God put these things here. And he's very clear in his word. Man has a deep desire to make things, improve things. If we don't manage our yard, what happens to it?
It's overgrown.
It's overgrown. Weeds and thorns and thistles.
And it looks bad.
Right. God told, even in the Garden of Eden, which was paradise, God told Adam he had to take care of it.
Yep.
So even in paradise, God told Adam he needed to take care of the garden, to tend to it, to cut back.
Yeah. Because
it gets it will get. So man's job is to keep it in control, to keep it looking good.
Yep, that's absolutely.
And that's in us.
Yep.
That's in us, to make things and make things better and improve things and build on things. And I was watching a movie last night about Abraham Lincoln and when his assassination, and just before that, after they had the North and South had signed the treaty in Appomattox, Virginia, and the war ended, and they were sending a telegram, and Lincoln's aide said, "Send a telegram. It says the war is ended. It's over. Send it out to and they got this little sending it out this, and I'm thinking, wow, how far have we come in communication from them?
Yeah.
Now we would be going, send an email, send a text message,
direct message.
Yeah, we would be saying, now, but saying back then, that's we're always improving and making better and growing and building new things. That's God put that in us. We want to go to the moon. We want to go to Mars. We're going to go to Jupiter.
live on the moon.
We don't want to go there because. Really, a lot of people think we want to go there to see if there's if there's other life on these planets. No, we really want to go there because what God put it into us is to explore.
Yeah, exploration. Yeah,
to go see and find and look. Anyway, that's what God put in men, right? So number one, we need marriage. Number two, we need children. Number three, we need stewardship, with dominion, to manage and create and make things new and make things improved and all of those things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Number four. God put in us for men to provide and protect.
Yes. Right?
Provide and protect. That's our job as men, is to provide. We just said a minute ago, the garden needed tending to. It needed to be protected. It needed to be cared for. Then he gave Adam a family that needed to be cared for and protected. He failed to protect his wife.
Yep.
In Genesis chapter 3, Adam failed to protect his wife. Culture has replaced men with government. We just talked about that.
Yeah.
And government's going to do a poor job from 2,000 miles away or whatever to provide and protect. It's not going to do its job. You need somebody in the home that can do that.
Absolutely.
So, number one, we need marriage. Number two, we need children. Number three, we need stewardship and dominion. Number four, we need to provide and protect. That's what men are designed for. And finally, number five is men are designed to govern, to lead.
Yeah.
That's our job. Our job is to govern. Man thrives inside of boundaries. Why do we find it so exciting? We always go back to sports analogies, right? Why do we find it so exciting to watch college football, professional football, sport, all these different, why do we find those so exciting? Is because people on that field having to achieve an objective within boundaries.
Yeah.
If you remove the boundaries, the game disappears.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the football field, if I take away the boundaries, the game goes away. And you just have chaos. People are just out there beating each other up. But once I put boundaries in place and I put referees out there that enforce the rules, all of a sudden I have men on the field who can make millions of dollars because there's boundaries.
Yep.
if you want to know why your life is not succeeding, is because you've left God's boundaries.
Yeah.
Because life is intended to be won, just like the football game is intended to be won inside the boundaries. And when you go outside the boundaries, if you keep doing that, you're going to lose.
Yep.
But the team that can do the best inside the boundaries wins. Or if you keep trying to play the game outside the boundaries that God has designed, you're going to lose every single time because you keep taking yourself out of the game. Mm-hmm. And so God has designed us to govern and to lead and to live life inside these boundaries that he has put there for us. So if I'm going to get my life together as a man, God's word has these boundaries for me.
Yep.
And he says, if you want to succeed, if you want to have a fulfilled life, if you want to have a family, if you want to have a job, if you want to have success in your life, it's got to be done within the boundaries that I lay down for you. Because when I go outside those boundaries, disaster happens really fast. So men, those are our things, right? Marriage, children, stewardship, provide and protect, and then govern and lead within the boundaries that God has given to us. Don't be afraid, fathers. Don't be afraid to lead.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to love your children. Don't be afraid to reject the things that maybe some of your friends are doing that shouldn't be occurring.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't be afraid to be a man. Let me ask you quickly. You are not a man when you hit puberty. You're not a man when you lose your virginity. You're not a man when you get your first job. You're not a man when you have your first beer. For some. You're not a man when you start shaving. Those don't define a man. What defines a man? When I'm responsible, when I stop being passive, when I start leading, and when I start thinking eternally.
Yeah.
That's when I become a man. I don't become a man just because I can shave, just because I can make a baby, just because I'm old enough to drink a beer, just because I've hit puberty, just because I'm 18. Those things, there's a lot of men out there who are 35, 45, 55-year-old, and they're really boys.
Yeah.
Emotionally, mentally, their behavior, they're not men. They might be of age, but they're not men. And you become a man when I can say, you know what, I'm no longer going to be passive. I'm gonna step up and do what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to start taking responsibility for my life, for my family, for those around me. When I start to lead the right way that God says to lead, and when I start thinking like God thinks.
Yeah.
And I start looking at the Word of God and saying, what does God expect of me? And that's how I start to think. I start to think eternally and not just selfishly, because eternal thinking is mature thinking. Short-term thinking is selfish thinking.
Yeah.
Right. So, men, happy Father's Day. Thanks so much. And I hope that you've gathered something from this today. This has been a great reminder for me. It causes me to do some self-examination of things I need to work on in my life. Robert, happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Mark, happy Father's Day. And I know you guys got one coming as well. So, but we appreciate you. If you got any questions for us, you want to make contact with us, you can reach us at www.nextstepmen.org. Pop us an email, make contact with us, make a donation. You can donate there as well. We'd love to hear from you. Happy Father's Day. Hope you have a good one.